I always feel like we hit go live like in media res. Like we're already talking and we're bringing you in. It's like you walked into the room on our discussion.
Right.
No.
Hey everybody.
Oh, we're live. Hi.
Yeah. Alex, William, Nilo. I don't know. And Sarah are here so far. Welcome. Welcome to Wufo.
Friends.
I gotta burn my bay leaf.
Hello. Okay.
Has anybody else sent a postcard?
I actually haven't yet.
I know I haven't had a chance either.
I've been
I
wanting
mailed
to.
off my two.
Yeah, Kai, you're like top of
Well,
the
Garrett, you're gonna
class.
hate this. You're fuzzy again, dude.
Oh,
I am so sorry.
yeah.
I wonder what it is. Is there anything else like electrical in your area that's
It's the emotions of Teddy Ruxpin.
It
Yeah.
might be, yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Or-
welcome everybody. Has anybody we were just talking about the postcards from last week. So last week we set out to write postcards to a cave in Greece, but also to like any location we thought like it would be fun. And we're just wondering if anybody had a chance to do it. I have not. I've had kind of a crazy week because my kid's been sick. So I haven't had a chance to do that. But if anybody else has, let us know.
Yeah, I've been wanting to. Am I fuzzy still?
Mm-hmm. Can you use your onboard mic? Would that be any better?
Maybe Emily and I have haunted ourselves by leading ghost tours, and we've brought the gremlins to Wufo.
Maybe. Oh yeah, how's the ghost tour
I know
leading?
it's acting.
It's fun. I've done a few now, and October will be like when I'm like fully on the schedule. But yeah, it's been fun
Cool.
so far. How's it going for you, Emily?
Uh-oh. Can Emily hear us too? Are you able to hear us, Emily?
Emily seems like that she might be frozen.
Oh, I can't
Oh wait,
tell.
no. I've been doing
Apparently
some
tonight is
research.
Technical
some
issues night.
independent- Oh, sorry, sure.
No, I was just saying apparently it's technical issues night. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying I've been doing some.
It is. Hold on.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Hey everybody.
Hey, Courtney. Oh no, Sarah. That's
Oh, COVID. Oh no. Everybody's getting it right now.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's got everything. I've been over taking care of my nibbling, he's got croup. Poor baby.
Oh no. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, but
Here, I'll.
at least it's not the COVID. And
Yes, that is true.
Hopefully he'll get better soon. But I was gonna say I have been doing some research to like try to kind of fact find some of the stories that I tell all the time.
Mhm.
It's been really fun. I've been watching a lot of, there's a show on OPB called Oregon Experience that actually has like some pretty good episodes kind of about a lot of the like myths and legends and haunts of Portland.
Oh wow,
But it's been fun to be poking around in the newspaper archives too. Like I brought up the haunted parking lot. We tell a story about this fire that happened there, and so far I haven't been able to find anything in the old Oregonian about a fire there. But I am still massaging my search terms. So
yes. Do you have a newspapers.com subscription?
I do, yeah. And
Okay,
then if I log in through Multnomah Public Library, I actually have like special access to the Oregonian, and I think there's like a Portland Weekly or Portland Daily, or I don't know. There's like maybe a handful of old publications that I have access through, logging in through my public library. So between the two of them, I'm seeing what I can track down. I also got to email my mom. Grew up in Petersburg, Illinois, and she was in high school in the 70s, and she was recently telling me that there was like a Bigfoot flap around her town when she was in high school, but it turned out that there were a couple of kids like hoaxing things, and the police came and did like an assembly at the high school, like, stop hoaxing Bigfoot stuff.
What?
The newspaper for the Peterson, which is a pretty small town, has been it's been hard to track down the newspapers, and I even emailed the library, and they're like, 1974 is missing. It's missing in our archive, and it's missing in the Abraham Library presidential collections archive for some reason. And I'm like, ooh, what's spooky about 1974 Petersburg? Like, it makes me, is it a government cover up? What's happening? I'm so excited to like
clearly
dig around and find more.
And maybe that's why the cops were so involved on hoaxing. Like, don't do this because like there's more going on than you know. Could be something like that. One of the things I miss the most about let's see.
Hello.
Oh, you're in a new place.
Yeah, I've reappeared.
You've transcended. You've arisen.
Hopefully this will work better. Hi, everyone.
So Kai's just, I don't know if you've been hearing, but Kai's been telling us about their researching, like things for the ghost tour that they're doing. And there was a Bigfoot flap in 1974. Well, I don't want to speak for you. You should.
Yeah, I was.
It's good enough to repeat.
Stories. I was researching things for my for the ghost tours that I do, because I want to be able to like get up with as many facts as I can. But I also went off on a tangent about how as part of my family genealogy, I've decided to try to look up this Bigfoot flap that my mom was telling me about from the like early 1970s from a small town called Petersburg, Illinois. But the local library and the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library don't have the microfilm from 1974, which is just a weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, so the whole year has vanished from the archives.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Maybe 1974 didn't even happen there.
Wow.
So Emily is also having some technical issues. We will bring Emily back as soon as she is in a place where it's better to get a signal. Oh wait, maybe now. Hello. Better place?
Yeah, you're on my phone, so I'm gonna see if that works.
Whatever works.
So many gremlins tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to say the thing that I think was the worst about losing my job at the University of Washington, well, not losing my job, I mean, I took a new job, I quit, but was like losing full access to the university's library system. That was like the best benefit. Like that was enough of a benefit. Like health insurance, pff, I don't need that. Just give me that sweet library access.
Day store or whatever. Is that where you found the Old Man of the Crater story?
Yeah.
Where the what's his name found E.S. Ingraham found like a cave entity up on Mount Rainier, and I think you were like digging around in the archives there.
Yeah, yeah. I was just looking stuff up. I saw a reference in it's like a local historic, like that guy Knut Berger.
Oh, right.
He had like just a reference to it in the intro to one of his books, so I was able to find the actual book that E.S. Ingraham wrote and described. It's on the Liminal Earth site. If you go near, like, look up Ingraham or Mount Rainier, and it's it's one of the wildest stories we've had.
Yeah,
I think. Which, yeah, I was gonna. So now I have to wait for Emily. I had a really cool idea for like our. Oh, hey, you're back. Cool. So this is actually on topic because it's about the map. I had a cool idea for. So we've been talking, and if you're in the Discord, you probably saw me bring up this idea of having like a monthly, like PowerPoint based like mini con slideshow party, just like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, hour or so, something that's like relatively easy to put together, but will give a wide spectrum of people the chance to like share something that they're passionate about or something that they love or something like that. We haven't decided. We've been trying to use AI to come up with like what we could call it, because I think it would end up being like a like weird TED Talks, like a whole database of like these cool little video presentations that people could see. And then I was thinking about it. What would be really cool is what if we asked the only stipulation, if you want to give one of these things, is to tie it to a location. So it could be like your hometown. It could be your current house. It could be like a field that you like to stand in. It could be a room, but like tie it to an actual like locale of some kind. And then we could even like link to them on the map.
That's cool.
I love that.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
So I think it would probably
anchor for everything. Even tenuous. Some kind of anchor for all of them, but there could be a tenuous tie in some location.
Yeah. I mean, we're not like that strict about it. Like I would,
That's cool though. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. So
I love this idea of people, like tons of people like giving little PowerPoints of like some special interest topic or something weird that, would community be into. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I was thinking too, and it doesn't even have to be like, it could be just like 5 minutes long. Like it just could be, come on and talk about something weird you saw one afternoon in your hometown for 5 minutes, and like that would be cool enough to make it worth seeing.
Right.
So anyhow, that's in the works. It's probably I can't realistically, like, I think probably early next year would be a good target to get it started. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
It could just be part of WUFO. I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
We're already here.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
we're brainstorming on that. Anybody who has any ideas about it, come into the Discord and let us know what your ideas are, because we want it to be really cool, and it will be. There you go. Does anybody have any snacks?
I'm snackless at the moment. I just ate some farro. I've been getting real into that after Jeremy and I are in this little thread of folks who are talking about ancient grains. That's what we talk about. But I've been eating that like nobody's business. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's like a dessert. I've been putting like soy milk, and I just had some soy milk and cranberries. Man, so good.
That sounds good. So you do a sweet version of farro?
Usually, I haven't done the savory yet. I need to try that.
I'm actually I'm really big into millet right now.
Let's do a PowerPoint map of this.
Yeah, ancient grains, farro, millet, and it's funny because millet is like
TEFL. Yeah.
Millet is like the main, like the little, like brownish yellow seed in birdseed. It's like I'm officially eating birdseed. I also eat a ton of sunflower seeds. What can I say? I'm turning into a bird.
We're just fully embracing the bird that was always inside you.
That could be it. Yeah. Sarah has miso soup and hot sauce and pickles.
Ooh.
Yeah. Soup is the best. It's almost soup season too.
Oh yeah.
I accidentally bought a very large container of animal cookies. But look, y'all, there are no pink ones.
Oh.
It's an all white thing. And it's not that I like the pink ones, you can taste the pink food coloring. So when I saw a giant thing of all white animal cookies,
interesting. I didn't know that they had a different taste, but I
didn't either.
I don't like the pink flavor.
Wow.
Huh. That container is begging to be transformed into something, though.
Yeah.
That was the other reason I had to buy it.
A bunch of mushroom ink with some cubes in it.
Yeah. Yes. I have that right here. I haven't done anything with it since last show because I've just had too much going on. But in case anybody missed it last time, this is our crystal ball with little wooden cubes with letters in them, so we can use it like a magic 8-ball to ask it questions. So we can consult it at some point this evening.
Last week I was so impressed that that inbox Daphne thing was just so wild, spot on. And I guess after WUFO, after the stream, some people may have read this or not, but I went outside and I like randomly like pointed at a star and I was like, hey, what's that one? And it was the star called I can't remember the full name. Basically, it has the word Delphi in it, but it means dolphin. And it was totally associated with all the Delphi stuff that we were talking about. And it was just like, of all the billions of stars, or the ones that we can see that I pointed at, it was like about what we were talking about. And it was really, it felt like, what's going on? I was really surprised by that. But I wrote about it all on the WUFO or on the Patreon. Actually, you can go read it. So,
yeah, and Daphne is the laurel nymph, who was transformed into a nymph in order to escape the affections of Apollo. And I went out to my yard. I was doing some yard work, and I saw a few things like sticking up where they shouldn't be, and like I picked up this thing, and there were these little sprigs of laurel popping up.
I think that's so wild. That's super
really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it grows around here, so it's not like super surprising, but the timing was definitely,
yeah.
Made my eyebrows do this.
Wig.
Do you want to talk about your dream, Garrett?
Yeah, it's just real quick. I had a dream like 2 nights ago, and it seemed relevant to this group and WUFO somewhat. To me, it did. And I'll just make it real brief. But basically, I was walking, and there was a cabin, and it was dark. And then outside of the cabin, like the what's that called? Motion sensor light came on, like shone bright on this bear, this big brown bear that was so bright that it was almost white, and it was big, and I couldn't tell if it was real, like or taxidermed or a living bear. But then the light went away, and it reminded me also of Twin Peaks. Where I don't know if you've seen Twin Peaks, there's like the horse that just shows up in someone's living room. It's just like on a spotlight, and then it kind of disappears. It reminded me of that. And then after it got dark again, I noticed that there was a statue sitting next to me that I thought was a human, but then I realized it was just a statue, kind of like a marionette. First, I thought it was made of metal, and I reached out to its hand, and I realized it was made of wood. And it actually had like branches coming off of it, like still had leaves on it. And as soon as I touched it, it moved.
Hmm.
And I got like, what? Like, you know, it's like, it's alive, but then it froze again. And kind of like in a playful way. And then I heard David Lynch telling me, like, there are things that want to play with you and talk with you and interact with you, but they're prevented from doing too much of that. And it's weird. It was weird to me in my dream that David Lynch would explain anything. So that was kind of funny to me in the moment. And then the final little bit is that I went inside the house and there's someone there, I can't remember who, but there was a live baby bear in the house. And the baby bear was running around and like getting into the books and stuff and like totally wild and out of control. And I was like, what do I do with this bear? And it got into my bag and I was like, hey, you can't get in there. And I was trying to stop the bear. And as soon as that happened, it got dangerous. It got scary. And so like I kind of backed off and I just had to kind of deal with it being out of control or out of my control from handling it. And then it kind of calmed down and everything, you know, it found some berries and it was happy and it was fine. And I felt like in the dream that this was being presented to me, like these two things are related. Something about this wild bear energy and something about this playful thing, this, you know, like the thing in the woods that wants to become real for a moment and that has to go back to being just a stick in the woods. These two things are somehow related. And I've been racking my brain about it, but it touches on to me some things about, you know, how I deal with all the paranormal stuff, like the being out of control has been a big thing for me, like why I was so scared of aliens and stuff, and like that bear energy, like and some of why I'm interested in all the paranormal stuff and all the games we play is to kind of like have some control over the narrative of it. So that's what I've been reading into it a little bit, but I was just curious about you know, it just seemed like some kind of dovetailed into some of the stuff we talk about. So, and it was a chance to show, you know, my Teddy Ruxpin. we were going to try to do something with Teddy Ruxpin, maybe. Oh, but here's another thing. So I got this Teddy Ruxpin, and right before WUFO, I was gonna, I just turned it on. I had it turned it on, and it started making this weird noise. I don't even know what the tape. There's a tape in there. But then after I got kicked off, I put it on again, and he started saying, "I'm emotion." So you might be able to hear it. Let's see. I am in motion. I am in motion. I am in motion. I am in motion. Yeah. So I don't know what that's. I don't know if that's related to the dream thing, but I thought I was like, what is this? What is happening right now? Anyway, that's my Teddy Ruxpin, my bear stickman dream. So,
I remember once when somebody tried to steal that, or I guess they weren't necessarily even trying to steal it, but they kind of walked.
Yeah, we brought it to like a convention kind of thing, and it was on our table, and someone just like picked it up. And they made a tinfoil hat for it, and they were like carrying it around like all night. And like, I almost wanted to like let them have it because it seemed like it was so special to them or something.
Yeah, they needed
it. You had to get it back. Yeah.
It kind of sounds like since the last time I encountered Teddy Ruxpin, which I think was like the late 80s, early 90s, that they may have joined a cult. That
yeah, I know.
like, sort of like,
yeah, totally.
Well, maybe did you look up any bear symbolism or anything that to give you any more context or clues or anything? Or?
Dude, I sent you something I found.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it said. I think it goes into that thing about control and being out of control.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you my bear stories?
No, I know.
Oh my God. So this is a weird thing that frequently happens. So when I was little, my dad has always like owned his own company. So he would basically take like the whole summer off, and we would drive from Ohio out west or wherever. We would hit a whole bunch of national parks. And frequently on these trips, this happened at least 3 times. Once in Yellowstone, we like went to go see a presentation about the bear dogs that they use in Yellowstone, because they have they have bear dogs in Yellowstone that they use to just like sniff out if there's any like bears that might threaten hikers or whatever. And the bears bark and the dogs bark rather, and scare the bears off, and it's a whole thing. So then I was just like freaked out by bears, because I was like, where are they going to be? What's going to happen? And we get in my dad's Bronco, because we had a Bronco back then, and I like lost my mind, and I was like, there's going to be a bear. There's a bear. There's going to be a bear. Like there's going to be a bear. And my dad was like, I need you to like relax. This is a huge park, and the chances of us like stumbling on a bear right now are so slim. Just please calm down. Right. And so he finally manages to calm me down, and almost immediately had to slam on the brakes because a bear ran out in front of the car. And then that happened one other time in a different park, which I think was, God, I can't even remember. There was a second park that happened, and then in Glacier once, I woke my parents up in the middle of the night. We were staying in a cabin, and I was like, there's a bear outside the cabin. There's a bear outside the cabin. It's right outside my window. Like, you need to do something. And my dad was like, there's no bear outside. Like, there's no bear outside. Please go to sleep. And it's like 2 a.m. And I was like, I'm telling you, there is a bear outside right now. And he was like, please go to bed. Right. So he manages to get me to go to bed. And we woke up the next morning, and our neighbors in the next cabin over had vacated their cabin in the middle of the night because a bear had gone through the window that was exactly opposite mine. And yeah, I know it happens a lot. I have like really accurate bear. I don't know. There was a different time unrelated to a bear where we were staying at Mount Rushmore, and we were in the campgrounds, and I lost my mind, and I was like, there's going to be a storm, and we're going to need to vacate, and like, we got to get out. And my dad was like, what are you talking about? Like, the weather is fine. I checked the weather. If the weather is going to be bad, then all of the weather radios in the camp are going to go off. Like, you'll know, it's fine. Please go to bed, which is always how these conversations went. Yeah. So he manages to talk me down, and I finally go to bed. And then at like 3 a.m, every single weather radio in the camp went off all at the same time, like one after the other. And there was such a bad storm that hit that we had to like sleep in the Bronco that night because it was too unsafe to stay in the tent. So I don't know if it's me that is predicting things, or if it's my dad telling me, no, that's not going to happen. And then somehow we jointly manifest these things. I don't know, but I have like really, really weirdly accurate bear sense.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
So maybe
skill here. Yeah.
Maybe these bears you have to cross. Because other people have crosses to bear.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
But you're saying that like there was an aspect of it where it was like I needed to relinquish control a little bit. Trying to control it too much is actually what made it worse when I was with the bear, trying to impose my control over it actually made the situation worse.
I think sometimes a bear is just going to happen. And if it's going to be a bear, it's just going to be a bear.
Yeah. So I was just noticing, Courtney asked Moonbird, who I'm afraid I don't know their identity outside of Moonbird, for possible dream interpretations. And this is how they replied. So I was wondering if they would be willing to clarify what the Gestalt-y vibes might be there.
Yeah.
Because, just in the chat or whatever.
Oh, one other thing that I didn't mention real quick is the name of the statue. Like David Lynch told me in the dream that his name was It's Joke, which is my name here. It's Joke. With the apostrophe like that, which seems weird, but that is what the name of the statue was.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Oh, hey, you know what? I just remembered. I got to go grab something.
Yeah. So if that lends anything to it, I don't know.
Oh, 3/5 of a dream group. I want to know more about this. There's a
Wait,
dream
what's that?
group happening.
Yeah, where am I in this?
Also, 3/5 is such a fun fraction. It feels like a very wufo-y fraction.
Yeah, totally.
Prime numbers on top and on bottom. Odd numbers too. Obviously, a lot of prime numbers are odd numbers.
There's another aspect of it too, the like bear being taxidermed and then being a real bear, and then like a marionette being kind of like a fake human, there's this like kind of like fake versus real thing. It also had like vaguely Wizard of Oz vibes. Like the statue itself kind of reminded me of the Scarecrow. Bear, you can maybe say it's like the lion. So there's some kind of like, I remember feeling, especially that statue felt Scarecrow-ish in its movements and when it did move. Anyway, it's just weird. Just a weird dream that felt vaguely like this.
So I remembered I have Artemidorus's Artemidorus, I don't know, the interpretation of dreams. It's like the very first like Mediterranean area dream book that was ever written. So I was going to see if I could look up a bear and see if it says anything about bears.
If it says anything embarrassing about me, don't.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, there's there is an entry on you.
Oh, me specifically?
Well, it says bear, and then right underneath, immediately underneath bear, the next entry in the index is beard. So, clearly. Well, let's see. Oh, you know what? It's talking about here. Let's see. 2:12:8. What? 2:12:8. Give me a break. I think it's something to do with the Big Dipper.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at here. Book 2.
It's called like Ursa Minor and Major, right? And
yeah,
it has to do with the bear and the.
because there's a big bear and a little bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Which there was in the dream too, actually, because there's the big bear outside and then the little baby inside.
I wonder if there's a little bit to like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a puppet or if it's taxidermy or if it's real. Like all of them are kind of the same, which I wonder if is a little bit what the Gestalt kind of vibe that Moonbird is suggesting. Maybe a wee bit.
So this says the dream is related to Callisto, a nymph who was the daughter of King Lycaon, one of the followers of Artemis, who was transformed into a bear and put up in the stars as Ursa Major. So there you go.
Okay, well,
So,
I'll check Big Dipper tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like our stargazing side quest is finding Big Dipper.
Yeah, so Callisto, look up Callisto. There's a ton of there's too much for me to get into right now.
Yeah.
But the other thing it says, it signifies a woman. This is from the Artemidorus. Savage nature, movement and travel abroad, because it shares its name with the constellation that's in constant movement. But it can also foretell circulation confined to the same locality, because it's always revolving in the same place and never sets. The constellation, the Big Dipper, because the North Star. So there you go. So another nymph, though. That's kind of interesting to me.
Right.
All right. Cool. That's awesome. So if Moonbird has any other thoughts, please definitely share them. Take time typing. That's fine. I wanted to show something cool. Was there anything you wanted to? Oh, constant movement and in motion. Was there something with in motion?
Oh, actually, the bear was going around the room
Huh.
circle, so that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I remember it was like climbing. It was going around, and it was kind of high up.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is one of those words I've only ever seen written, and I don't think I've ever heard. Is it gestalt with a hard G or gestalt with a soft one? Is it GIF or GIF?
I think I've mostly heard it said gestalt.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I feel like it's in a musical theater song somewhere, but I can't pull it out of my head right now, other than the fact that I feel like I've heard someone sing it.
So to embody what the bear is to you and ask it what message it has for you as an aspect of yourself and others in the group receiving the dream. That's a cool idea.
I've had a lot of weird dreams lately, but none of them with bears.
Yeah, I can't think of any of lately either. Cool. Thank you for that. That's something to think about experimenting with. And then we have Scott who says, I like that too.
Words to live by. Sure.
Absolutely.
I like Scott's llama. I like to think that a llama is telling me to stop often for honey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's a place somewhere nearby where you can go hang out with alpacas.
Yeah, and I think we should go.
Bill trip.
Yeah.
I looked up gestalt because I needed to confirm it. We're saying it the right way as far as my IPA is confirming. And the just like general definition is an organized whole that's perceived as more than the sum of its parts. Because I also was like, this is a word that I feel like I have a like squishy vibe of what it means, but I want to know.
Yeah. That's
This
cool.
wufo brought to you by the dictionary.
Yeah. So might ask Garrett, what does a bear mean to you, or 3 words off the top of your head associated with bear?
Ooh. Right now, I'm psychoanalyzed. I don't bear. Let me think. I gotta think about that.
Courtney, your nickname is Coco? Did you name yourself after the plant?
I used to work with a Courtney in a bookstore whose nickname was Coco, kind of like the in-group nickname. I like a Coco who's a Courtney, who's also a book affiliated person.
Sarah says her little sister went to llama camp as a kid, and when we went to pick her up, her llama was huge, like 6 feet tall, and it kept licking my head. Llama camp?
I want to go to llama camp.
Oh, yeah. Wow, where is there a llama camp?
When you say llama camp, is that like I went to horse camp with Girl Scouts when I was like 8 or 9. We just did a whole bunch of horseback riding. But do you get like a llama camp for the week? Like, do you get a llama for the week?
Because that would be
my ideal.
I would do it right now. Like,
Yeah.
Sign me up tomorrow. That's great. Well, what?
Say like two things that it reminded me of the bear is, or when I think of that, I think of that movie Grizzly Man. What's it called? I don't know if people have seen that movie.
But we watched it during the pandemic.
Yeah, someone who kind of goes and interacts with wild bears, and eventually it's by Werner Herzog. It's like documentary footage he would take. Eventually, the bears kill him though and eat him. He was recording the whole time. He was recording.
Yeah.
horrible. So that's something that actually came to mind when I woke up and I was thinking. It reminded me of that. Another thing too is the fact that the motion light came on and there's the bear. It actually reminds me of the story. I made a TikTok about it. But here in Bremerton, there's a podcast called the Dogman Podcast or something. And there's actually a Dogman sighting here in Bremerton, just down the street from me by the Safeway. And when this woman was walking through at like 3 a.m., she went through these two houses, like through their yard to like get to the alley. And the motion sensor came on. And that's where she saw the Dogman standing next to a garage. So that kind of vaguely links to that, I think. It's like an image that's been in my head. So I don't know. I think it's just like that wild. It feels to me like it's the thing about being out of control or not having control over a scary situation is like kind of one of my deep fears, I think. So I think that is where that comes from a little bit. And I think like doing stuff in wufo and like paranormal liminal stuff, a lot of times it's me trying to have some narrative that I can help build to like not make myself feel out of control. That's
so the llama camp was near the nuclear reactor.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
That's amazing.
I mean, everything. I just love everything about that sentence. Just all of it.
Yeah.
11 out of 10.
None of that was predictable.
No. Their farm butted up to the nuclear reactor. That's hilarious. Speaking of butts, Emily went to the Mothman Festival.
Yay. Yeah.
Are you up for talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we cool with moving?
Yeah.
Moving next to so I'm gonna put this up. Oh, and also before we do that, we went to the Troll, the new Seattle Troll. Emily and I did with her roommate and my kid, and it was really cool. There was a big crowd, so we did a little bit of filming, and I don't know, Garrett, if you've had a chance to look at the stuff we sent. We might have something up on it at some point, but we might actually have to go back to when it's not so crowded.
Yeah,
we can be a little goofier. But today, my dog walker took our dog to our dog goes to this park all the time, and I don't know if you can see it here, but here's the Troll and all of the dogs that my dog walker walks.
Amazing.
So my dog is the big guy in the red there. That's Emmett. He's a Doberman. He's a goofball.
Didn't it get vandalized or something recently?
It did. Somebody spray painted shorts onto it, which is awful, but at the same time kind of funny. They would like be wearing shorts.
Who? I just don't understand why someone would do
it's terrible. Yeah.
Maybe they're a never nude.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. I don't know. But they are there to play a flute to the orcas to ask, like, where are the orcas? And the orcas actually have been at, like, there have been a number of the pods sighted in the sound over the past couple weeks. So maybe it was cool though. One of the things that I think is really neat is that so many people spontaneously did what I was going to do too, which is leave offerings. Like, there's all this stuff underneath the Troll, like offerings of like shells and trinkets, and there's something that, like, in this entity, the statue of this entity, that kind of, it must bring something out in people.
That's cool. That's cool. There's like an innate thing that people just feel like they need to do that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and none of them were like, and it was all like really respectful and stuff. We left one too that was like things that we had kind of collected on the way, like different medicinal plants and stuff. So that was really neat. So there you go, the West Seattle Troll. And now let's get into West Virginia.
Yes. Yeah, that's the Silver Bridge Memorial. And I actually did not know before I went, for some reason. I don't, because that bridge, they never rebuilt it. There's a lot of bridges in the area right now. If you go to the Silver Bridge Memorial, there's the memorial, and then there's like a parking lot right behind the memorial, which has a giant, like a wall right behind it. And the bridge is painted on the wall as like part of the memorial, but the bridge has never been replaced. So there's like 7 or 8 different like other bridges in the area, but the bridge itself was never rebuilt, which I didn't know. I don't know why I had just expected that they would like rebuild it, but they did not. It's an interesting memorial, honestly, because it's like something that is obviously so present, especially because the town is kind of built around Mothman at this point. But the memorial felt like it was just like, oh yeah, that's also there. Like, this is not just like a Mothman thing. It was funny being at the Mothman Festival because I ran into like more than one person who was just at the Mothman Festival to be at the Mothman Festival and had no idea who Mothman was or what the deal was with Mothman. So I kept having to explain Mothman to people while I was like there, that were just like standing around, which was interesting. But yeah, that's the Mothman statue. I think we all know he's very, I don't think that people really understand how ripped Mothman is, which is very strange. It was kind of delightful because it was a very crowded festival. Like, there was a huge line of people waiting to get their picture with Mothman. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh, like everyone here is a little weird, including the people who have no idea why they're here and are just here for some reason.
What?
So that was nice.
Sorry, I can't help but, did they think that they were going to a different kind, like a festival about like, I don't know, a guy with trained moths or something? Like, come see the Mothman.
I have truly no idea. I think that from my understanding, it feels like they were going to a festival where they knew that Mothman was a cryptid. It's like if you went to a festival that was to celebrate aliens and you just knew it was a festival about aliens, but actually the festival is about like a specific alien named Jeff or something. And it's like, why is this festival around this specific alien as opposed to like all the alien? Like, that's what it felt like to me. It was like, okay, like obviously Mothman is like a specific thing and not just like, I don't know. It was they were like, and I think that part of the confusion was like, okay, but like, why here? Like, why is this the Mothman spot? I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the impression overall seemed to be that like, it's like if like Bigfoot came from, I don't know, some random town and that was the Bigfoot town. It feels like it was the general confusion. The people didn't understand like why we were not even in the middle of West Virginia. You're right on top of Ohio. But it was strange. A lot of very small children and a lot of very small children who were delighted to see Mothman. Very few children who were absolutely terrified out of their minds, which was nice because if I had been a child, I would have been terrified. They were pretty cute. I mean, everybody dressed up as somebody got married by Mothman.
Whoa.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Which was, I don't know how Mothman got license to do marriages, but you know what?
Those Universal Life Church people, they'll ordain anybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'd get married by Mothman, I think, if I was going to get married. Or I would marry Mothman. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it was cute. It was a really cute. There was a lot of love for the squonk, which I didn't expect.
Huh.
There was a lot of squonk stuff there, and then I had to explain who the squonk is to my mom.
The squonk isn't local to that area, though, is it?
No. So I'm not really sure why. There was another cryptid that was like not Dogman and not Bigfoot, but seemed like he was somewhere in the middle that I'd never heard of, and I should have written his name down.
Dogfoot.
It was something real. I was like, I have never, and it's strange for someone to like dedicate time and energy to writing a whole book about a cryptid that I've never even heard of. Because I feel like I've heard of everyone that was like local. Now I'll have to do some research. I did find out. So the other thing is that everyone was leaving Mothman cans of beans, which you can
Yes.
see.
Yes.
And I did some Google searching, and it seems to me as though it's actually video game related, because Mothman is a deity in the video game Fallout 76.
Oh.
And I think that in the video game, I don't play video games. I'm extremely bad at them. But it seems to me as though there's, like, in the video game, you leave offerings to Mothman to make him happy.
Huh.
Okay, wait. Okay, so Fallout 76,
What's going on there?
beans are the consumable food in the Appalachia region, and there's a fictional cult following the future year of 2077 something, and the cult, because all the cult can eat are beans, people now leave them for Mothman. It's weird that a video game thing has crossed over into actual real life.
There's so many levels here.
Yeah.
Wait, but so that explains the beans, but what about the spam and there was a very specific kind of like potato chip or something on the other side, right?
They're Grippos. And Grippos, I thought Grippos were everywhere, but it sounds like you guys have never heard of Grippos.
Never heard of Grippos.
They're a chip
and
brand.
They're not in Illinois, nor are they, I don't remember them being in Maryland either. Like, I think they're kind of hyper local or hyper regional, perhaps.
The barbecue Grippos, which are I think the ones that were left for Mothman, they're Cincinnati local, which would make sense. Are Grippos only in Ohio? See, now I'm doing Googling. So it does sound like Grippos is specifically Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. And I only remember because I used to eat them at work all the time, and their barbecue chips have sugar on them, which is a little weird. But then you eat one and you're like, that was weird. And then you end up eating 4 more and you're like, I still think this is weird. And then you finish the whole bag and you're like, I kind of want another one. But it seems like it all stems from the video games, but it's weird that, I mean, I guess there is Appalachia territory, especially in Ohio and Kentucky. So if the cult in the video game has anything to do with Appalachia, then it would kind of be an Appalachian regional snack. I don't know. If anybody plays Fallout 76, it feels like that's where a lot of that is stemming from. And people then are like just taking like the cult offerings from the video game and like actually offering them, because the cult's deity is Mothman in the video game. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to try and get some Grippos and bring them back to Seattle for you guys, because I didn't realize they were that hyper regional.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll test them live. Like,
yeah,
that would be fun. That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So this is the TNT bunkers, right? Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which were creepy. There was one that I walked up to, and they're just what they are is they're old weaponry. Like in World War II, they stashed all the ammunition there, which is why they called them TNT bunkers. And they're just giant domes. And a couple of them, I didn't send many pictures of the inside of the domes because they're kind of hard to get a good picture of. But a couple of them, there's like a circle on top that lets light in, but they were so overgrown. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yep. That's at the top of some of them, and that lets light in. But there are other ones. The other domes don't have that. They've been like covered up by foliage, so they're just pitch black inside. And there were 1 or 2 that I tried to walk into by myself, and as soon as I walked into them, I was like, no, absolutely not. And then once other people would walk into them, I would also walk in, but they're all completely spray painted. Some of them, I like a lot of notes to Mothman. And that was just
Mothman.
Yeah. And that's just the first place that he was seen, because people, I think, used to go make out in the TNT, but it's a hike. It's like far back there. It's a beautiful area though. It's mostly used for hunting and fishing now. And the lake right next to the TNT domes is like covered in these gigantic lily pads. So it's a really interesting area. And then and they're all open, all the domes. But every time I tried to walk into one that was pitch black and no one else was in, I was like, absolutely not. And they echo in the strangest, like most intense way because they're a dome. So everything that you say like echoes so loudly. So it was interesting. It was definitely worth it to go to. I would recommend it.
That's cool. Well, there's some structures like that in Bremerton.
Oh, yeah.
That
Totally.
Garrett took us to.
They're all over here too, and then there's like Fort Worden up in Port Townsend, and also has similar things. Yeah.
There's some Fort State Park, I think, too, between here and Bellingham, that I've heard a lot of haunted rumors about.
Yes, because I think they talked about it in a podcast that I used to listen to, and I have been meaning to go.
We'll have to look into that.
That's interesting, though, that these like old military bunkers have like, the spooky vibes or whatever with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With them, it's almost like a residual, those feelings or something about that,
Mm-hmm.
They are quite liminal spaces if you think about it, though. Like they had this former use and now they just kind of sit there empty for like teenagers to make out in, which is arguably a very liminal like time in your life. I don't know, like that, like all of that makes sense for why they feel weird. Isn't there also a place, whenever I hear about the TNT domes, I also think about the domes that are down, are there some like demonic domes down in New Mexico, according to the Ghost Bros or something?
Oh yeah, something like that. There's a lot of weirdness in New Mexico that would be cool to check out. Cool.
Yeah,
well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh yeah, anytime. Is it Fort Nisqually? Is Fort Nisqually what you were thinking of?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I'm gonna look up the Demon Domes, Fort Nisqually. Find it. Just a list of weird road trip places to go.
Yeah.
So cool. Should we does anybody else have anything they wanted to talk about before the big moment, the thing we've all been waiting for?
I'm good.
So on my birthday, which was September 2nd, we did a little thrifting. And if you saw this last week, you know what happened. I found this copy of an old board game I had when I was a kid. So KRESKIN'S ESP. And it has like a pendulum. And because it's funny too, because I was remembering like when did I first start like getting into like stuff like this? When did I probably first use this a pendulum or something like that? And it was totally when I was a little kid. I didn't realize my dad had bought this board game, KRESKIN'S ESP. And my dad's awesome, but he's always been kind of like a materialist, kind of, like science will explain everything kind of person. And so it was weird for me to make that connection. Like, oh yeah, like my dad was actually really into this as like a fun thing to do for the family to sit around and do. And then I thought, well, it's because in some ways it's almost couched as like science in this case, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's testing and, but, so it's got all the good stuff and it's got these Zener cards, which are these. And if you were here last week, you saw them, but if not, like they have these symbols on them. And if you've seen Ghostbusters where Bill Murray is being like gross at the beginning and like shocking the guy and trying to put the moves on the student test subject, they're using these cards to figure out whether or not they have ESP. And we thought we should do it. We should do the test as it's put forth in the board game, and everybody can play along at home, and we'll see who's most psychic according to Kreskin's methodologies. So I should say, wanted to do a little due diligence like before doing this, because like all I really knew about Kreskin was that he was known as the amazing Kreskin and used to be on Johnny Carson and stuff. And he was a mentalist, like hypnotist kind of guy. And I looked into him. He's kind of like, I wouldn't say he's like super problematic per se, but he's kind of a jerk. Like like he would train cops how to use like mentalism and hypnotism and stuff, which was really like gross to do. Like, why would you want to do that? But he was on a bunch of talk shows, and he had a whole series in Canada, which I had no idea. He had a whole TV show. I want to try and find it and go back and watch some of the archives to see what was going on. But he has a connection to UFOs, which I didn't realize until I was doing some research. So he came out with this big announcement that, like, how many UFOs was it supposed to be? In 2002, he made a prediction that there would be a mass UFO sighting over Las Vegas on June 6th between 9:45 p.m. and midnight that would be witnessed by thousands of people. And he said that if he was wrong and they didn't materialize, he would donate $50,000 to a charity. Well, Art Bell had him like scheduled to come on and stuff, and like it was kind of a big deal. But then, you know, they didn't materialize. And so when he went on Art Bell after these guys, they didn't materialize, first he said, well, this was actually just something I could use. It was an object lesson after 9/11 to show what terrorists could do by manipulating people's beliefs about hypnotism and the UFOs. And then he found the next day that someone nearby had sighted a mysterious green light in the sky and said, oh, cool, this means I don't have to pay the $50,000 to charity. So, you know, that was like ethically awful. But he was one of the only people ever to have been banned from appearing on Art Bell's show after that. Like, that was too much even for Art Bell. But like, so he's still, I mean, Kreskin's still around. So he's still out there doing stuff. And he just kind of, you know, it's hard to say, like, I mean, he's not, there's no evidence that I've found that he was like a white supremacist or like anything quite that level of problematic. But nonetheless, we did want to at least acknowledge that. And also to just use it as an example to say that, like, if you're looking into this stuff, like, do your due diligence and look up the people who you're going to be referencing. So, the amazing Kreskin, everyone. Did anybody else have any experiences with Kreskin? Or
I'd never heard of him actually until you brought it up.
I'm really curious. I didn't realize, I had forgotten that there was a pendulum involved, and I didn't realize that he has a whole like revolutionizing the use of the pendulum like shtick. And I'm really curious because I got a pendulum because, like, way back in early WUFO times, a stone book sentence told me I should. But I always am like, what do you want to tell me? I don't know how to use you. Maybe I should. I mean, I don't want to give Kreskin my money since he's a curmudgeon, but if he's going to put that stuff for free on the YouTubes or something, I might have to see what he's all about and report back.
I'm sure the YouTubes have something.
And the pendulum is so, like, that it came with, it's like, this is like a keychain. Like, I don't know if you can see the, you know, one of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Like the thing that holds an old-timey plug to the bathtub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then this is just like, it's To be perfectly honest, I would probably have been more impressed if he had just tied a fishing weight to like some fishing line and done that, because that actually makes a really good pendulum. But I think some of like the revolutionizing using pendulum stuff he was doing was through these charts, like, making them more specifically about things,
Oh.
should I take that cruise to London? The artwork on these is really awesome, like just as period pieces. Like you can see sort of the
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know if I could use a pendulum to ask if I should take that cruise to London, because I want to take the cruise to London, and I feel like I'd be like, come on, you're gonna, we're going to London. Good job.
Well, tonight we're not going to use the pendulum. Instead, we're going to use the test pads, the actual test pads that came with it. So if you wanted to, you could don't tell Kreskin, because he seems to be the kind of guy who would get annoyed by us sharing stuff from his 66 Milton Bradley board game. But this is the actual test pad from the box. Oh, and I have a bunch of this. I know I keep going on divergences, but this is such an interesting thing. A bunch of test cards that were in here that were filled out by people. And I found some of their names, and I think I found one of the people whose test cards are in here. And I wrote him on Facebook to see if he would be willing to come on and retest himself. But I haven't heard back, which is not surprising. But if he does, right back. That would be really fun. I have your scores here, sir. Oh, and then the tangent, of course, last week, which was hilarious. I should say that I found his score sheet and be like, welcome to the society. Your scores have proven that you are part of, You
should say, I was thinking sorry, this is only our friend Erica, who maybe is in the chat. She was just at some event in Seattle, and there were chairs there. On the back of the chairs it said property of Cascade Paranormal Research Team or something, and it looks like it's an old sticker.
I could swear I put that in the slides. That's why I'm
yeah.
Oh well.
And we tried looking up this Cascade Paranormal Research Team, but there's nothing online about them. There's no newspaper articles about them. They operated out of the college next to your house, right?
Yeah, the South Seattle College.
Maybe we should remake that. We should remake the Cascade. What was it called? Cascade?
Where'd it go?
I'm thinking you could write to him and say that you're part of the Cascade.
Yeah.
Paranormal Research Team at the university, and this discourse.
That would be great.
But maybe we are the team. Maybe that was us, maybe there's some we're supposed to pick up the mantle.
Who'd she borrow the chairs from? And then was it at a place though? It was at a location?
Yeah, it was a place in Georgetown. Yeah.
Oh.
But we can't find any information. It's weird. There's
no, nothing.
Yeah. We need some librarians to help us.
Yes. Does anyone know any librarians? So I posted this also as a downloadable file on wufo.watch. You can just go. You can download it either as a PNG or a PDF. If you wanted to do that now and print it out, you could. But if you don't have it nearby, you could also just write this out on a piece of paper or something. So the directions were still in the box. Always nice when you're looking at thrifted board games. And it's pretty clear, it's, there are 25 spots. There are all the cards here. Some of them are, well, here, I'll put up the next slide. So some of them, there are 5 types of symbols, and then there's 5 colors. And the procedure is everybody has one of these pads, and dealer, I guess, I don't know, presents, one card at a time, leaves it up for a second. You write down your psychic impression of what it is, here. And then at the end, I'll read back all the cards that I drew, and people can check and see, kind of like,
How well they did.
bingo style or something. I don't know. To see, what your actual psychic abilities are. And based on the score that you get, there's a scoring system he includes. You could have either slight ESP ability, significant ESP ability, or high ESP ability. And the formula he uses is that based on the number of symbols or something, like if you like, statistically, the average should be 5 correct per session. So that's like normal. Like, if you're a normal human, statistically, you'll probably get 5 right. And so based on KRESKIN'S methodology, more means you're more psychic, and less means that you're not. So we thought we'd give it a try. Should we drive right in now, or do you?
Yeah, I'm right.
Can you just briefly, for those of us who may have trouble seeing exactly what colors those are
Yes.
on the screen, can you just list the colors off?
Yes. Yeah, they're green, blue, orange, yellow, and red.
That is yellow.
I know. The images, when I my scanner's not plugged in right now because we're doing decorating and stuff, so I had to do this by taking a picture, and it just didn't translate very well.
I wasn't sure if I was like, is it me? Am I?
Okay, wait. You know what? I have an idea. Oop.
I also was like, I've been rewatching old X-Files. I partly blame AP Strange, but I recently watched the episode with the guy who they're testing for ESP, and they were calling it hits and misses. Like, it's a hit if you match, it's a miss if you don't. Is that also terminology that Kreskin uses, or like?
I don't think so. There's, let's see. So the people who are doing the guessings in this case are the subjects, of course. Meanwhile, I, as the one with the cards, will be the testor. No, all it says is the subjects add up the number of correct impressions and mark this score in the box. And another thing we were thinking of doing is, once you have the card filled out, like, keep it, and then we'll keep going, because Kreskin says you need at least 4 tests to get like your final score. But he also implies that you can develop your abilities further. So, like, keep your score, and then, like, another couple WUFOs from now, we'll do it again and see if anybody's abilities have improved or gotten worse. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Right.
So what I
did, like, use it when you're doing some kind of divination or something to, like, see who's maybe the most in tune that day or something.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, do a run through real quick, seeing if anyone has like a higher score that day.
Yeah.
Then make like the person who goes under or whatever, whatever.
I also think it would be interesting to, like, try doing it without doing any prep. Try a meditation and then doing it. Like, there are certain things that people say will, like, boost your perception. Another one that I learned from doing some of those remote viewing classes, which are super fun if you ever get a chance to take a free one. But one thing they recommend is, like, every time you walk through a threshold from one room into another, just try to, like, pay attention to like what's different about this space than the space that I'm leaving. Is it warmer? Is it colder? Like you don't even necessarily have to be like, ooh, what are my psychic impressions? But just like pay attention to your sense of it. And sometimes it might be like, oh, it feels like somebody was angry in here, or oh, it like feels really nice to be in this space. It feels like a cozy hug from my grandma, or like it can be those things, but definitely doesn't have to be. But it would just be really interesting to me to like try out a few of those different things that are supposed to heighten your capabilities to see if there is any improvement.
Yeah, you can also study your card in the future to retrocausally impact your results, says Scott. I think that's hilarious. You know what I think we should do though? And then we'll get started with the test. I wanted to give people a chance to print stuff out or get their pens and paper and stuff too. We should make our own set of these cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with our own
Symbols.
Yeah. I mean, because I think there's like something to be said for having your like symbols that you would recognize. Like I think maybe you would even be better at doing than like just these little meaningless glyphs or colors. So we could have like Mothman's butt and pickle juice and coffee creamer mixed or
Oh.
You're making me hungry.
It's all the beans. So to play along too, I'm gonna just so that I don't have to be the tester alone. Like before I draw, I'm just gonna quickly write down what I think it is. And then I think I'm gonna hold it up each card for like the count of, what do you think? Like 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Because I don't want it to like take forever.
Yeah. 5 seconds is good, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I'll hold each card up, count to 5, put it down. And then I'm going to go through all 25. And then at the end, I'll go back and flip them over and read what they were. So does everybody kind of get that, generally speaking? I hold up a card. You write down what you think it is. Yes, I'll say, wait, no, I can't say what the color is out loud because...
You'll do it afterwards, but once you read it back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say heart or blue or up arrow or whatever. So
yeah, but you're not going to reveal them till we've done all 25, right? Like you're going to go through them. We're going to write down what we think they are. Then you'll go through and say out loud and show what they are.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's also, it'll keep people from saying like, well, oh, I had, you said triangle and that was my third guess. Like, so it kind of makes sense. So, all right.
Yeah. So people know that it's only one of the colors or like one of the black glyphs. It's not like a green heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a blue arrow. It's just a black arrow always.
Yeah. Heart. Let's say heart, dots, arrow, triangle, check. And then the colors again are scrolling across the bottom, but it's green, blue, orange, yellow, and red. So, all right, here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. $11. Number 12. Oops. Number 13. $14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 'And last one, 25. All right, cool. I'll leave this chart up for reference while we go. Also, like I was thinking, if people want to, when they go, if there's something that jumps out at you, like, you know, oh, I thought it was a triangle, but it was yellow and the triangle's right above yellow, then like you could put a star next to that, I think. Or something like that. It's just if there's something that strikes you as like, a possible hit, then feel free to mark it off.
Jeremy, just for like statistical reasons, how many are there? More than 25 cards in the set?
There are more than 25 cards, yes, and there are duplicates possible. I probably should have mentioned that originally.
I mean, I assumed that there were duplicates possible because this isn't enough for 25 things
Right.
uniquely. Cool. Yeah, I was just kind of curious. I was kind of thinking about like, what would happen if you just shuffled them real good and then set a stack, and we all just wrote down the top 25 versus you reading. I don't know. I was just thinking about like all the different ways. Because what if we're just reading your mind?
Yeah, he actually has other tests like that in here. There's like clairvoyance tests, 1 and 2. There's matching tests. And then there's like a solitaire version too. So we should totally look at those if this is something we want to keep doing.
Fascinating.
Our version. All right, are we ready to hear the results?
Yeah.
Number 1 was orange. Now, if you are using KRESKIN'S own scoring methodology, if you are correct, you circle it. And if you are incorrect, you put a dash through it. I don't think so. Anyhow, number 2 is an arrow. Number 3 is yellow.
Is there any statistical significance to being particularly like below statistics averages for
that same thing. Like, what if I get
ready to be there?
Yeah.
Not everybody's. Well, first of all, one could answer, you need to practice.
Yeah.
And second of all, I believe that not everybody's weird skills necessarily fall into the ESP variety.
Oh, if I wanted to be serious about it, I definitely would not have loaded up with however much sugar is in the handfuls of these I keep shoving in my mouth.
All right, so number
Courtney's for the win. Courtney says there is a thing about.
Oh well, if anybody here would know, it's totally Courtney. In fact, I really feel like we should have dug through her most recent book before delving in this, but now I totally am. Like right after this, I'm gonna crack that book open. The parapsychology book. So
yes.
But I want to keep moving along for now. So this is number 4 is green. Number 5 is blue. There were a lot more colors than I anticipated too. Sometime I might try like just the symbols or just the colors. Number 6 is green again. Number 7 is the check mark. Number 8, a check mark again. Number 9, if you were curious, and I swear to God, I've been shuffling these like for the last hour, a check mark. Number 10 is yellow. Number 11 is orange. Number 12 is the 4 dots. $13 is red. $14 is another check mark. $15 is the dots. 16 is, and I'm not kidding here, another check mark.
Oh my God.
It's all check marks. No. All right. What did I say that was? 16, right? Yeah. Okay. So 17 is red. $18 is blue. $19 is the triangle. $20 is the arrow. $21 is red. $22 is yellow. Oh, sorry. No, gosh, sorry. 22 is orange. Sorry. I was looking at the next one accidentally. Orange for 22. $23 is yellow. $24 is, and I debated on including this, but then I thought it might be interesting. The instructions.
Oh,
I hadn't taken them out. So if anybody got something weird for 24, that's why. And finally, last but not least, number 25, we're ending with the heart.
Yeah, I got exactly 0 hits.
same.
No.
Me too.
I did, however, have 3 different times where, like, for instance, number 10 was yellow, which I had for number 11. Same thing, I had a check for 17, but you called it for 16. And I had yellow for 23 when it was actually... No, I had it for 24. It was actually 23. So that, I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I got a couple too that were, it was like, not the one I picked, the next one. There's at least like 4 times where it's like the next one was the one I picked. But
So,
I got 2
we're
left.
all,
I'm at 2 out of 25.
we're all hitting a little late, it sounds like.
Yeah, it could be. I got 3. But again, I wasn't even really concentrating. I was just like, write it down while I could.
Right.
But I actually did have a couple of times. That's why I brought it up, because I wanted to talk about it to see if anybody else had it, where like it was, I guess, blue and it was the 4 dots, or I guess check and it was the red. Like my symbols seem to match the colors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got that a couple of times. I have red for the heart.
Yes, I will be. I saw CJ's question, and yeah, I will absolutely post these in the Discord. The results in order so that you can check again, double check if you want to.
Well, it's only up from here, so.
That's exactly right. I got 3 right, but had 5 times when orange for yellow or blue for green. Oh, that's interesting too.
My brain just kept going purple, and I was like, purple's not a color. Please focus.
All right, well, I will take this down for now.
That's fun.
That's fun. It's kind of interesting. So yeah,
Sarah got, wait, how many?
Who?
3. Sarah got 3. You got 3, Jeremy. Oh,
I got
Alex got 4.
Yeah, Alex is the right now. Alex is the psychic.
Alex should.
There's no winners and losers here.
I would believe that. I would believe that Alex is the psychic.
Yeah, I can see that. Totally. Cool. Well, everybody, hang on to your cards, and you put them in the Discord. That's actually a good point, Sarah. When we do our own, we shouldn't use colors.
Yeah. Wonder if there's a way to do it all.
Or you do the color, but also like you spell out blue, you can print it in blue, but at least it's inclusive that way.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Now I
But
want to
for people who
read.
don't interact
Yeah.
with blue, it may not be something like like
Oh
how-
no, CJ, I hope your kiddo's okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds extremely stressful. 10 options feels like too many. It does a little bit.
But it also means that like your misses are more that your hits are more significant that way.
True.
And I like your thought though, Jeremy. Like I kind of like the idea of maybe you do like a starter set where you only have like half the things and you can just sort of feel good, like, oh yeah, my psychic skills are coming on. And then you could add in like the other half to make it like next level hard.
Yeah. Well, I also wonder too about like the simplicity of these particular symbols. Like I understand why they're simple in some ways because they need to be universal. But what about a test where you use like a deck of tarot cards, but told the person, don't try and guess what card it is, just give me the impressions you get from the card. Because then it could be like anything on the art. It could be like something about the interpretation. It could be like, why do we need to? It's like this restrictive. It's kind of like what you were saying, Garrett. Like, why don't you just use your intuition? Like, spread all the tarot cards out face up, and just use your intuition to pick the ones that make the most sense. Like having more options, like that seems like it would make it more likely for somebody to be able to develop psychic abilities of some kind, because you're giving them like a bigger menu to choose from.
Right. Or like how you are psychically understanding a thing may be, more varied than just like as an image. It may be like feelings or like something that's more complex to describe than just check mark.
I think there is you lose a little bit of the scientificness of it. More
exactly.
No.
Which, I'm not mad about.
You're right though.
But you do create a situation where you can kind of what's the fallacy where you just see like everything is like the self-fulfilling prophecy sort of.
Oh, right.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What is that? I know what you're talking about.
It's
not
too late.
Confirmation bias.
Yes,
there you go.
That's it. Thank you. Which, like, some people say that it's difficult to read tarot for yourself because of like a danger of confirmation bias. Yes, Helen White, thank you, coming in the comments too. I'm not sure what the lag time is. Y'all might have just like did it exactly at the same time. But I have never found that a struggle with tarot. Like I never feel like, I don't like, I always feel like they help me kind of focus in. Like I feel like there's a lot going on and I'm like, I just don't know what's going, like I'm thinking a lot of things, but I can't like clarify it. I feel like they're good at like helping me to narrow, but I guess that's not necessarily. Anyway, I'm on a tangent.
I think that could depend too, though, because sometimes, like a lot of the time, actually, if I'm reading for myself, like if I'm reading for somebody else, then I try not to let the confirmation bias like kick in too much because, I want that it to be more about that person. But if I'm doing a reading for myself, like if I draw a card and I'm like, I hate that card, then I'll just draw a new card. Like, I don't, like, crap, it's it's the tower, like I don't want that card, I'll just pick the next one. Because the reading's for me. I mean, I get to make that call. Like it's
I have never once been like, no, thank you. My tarot deck would throw a fit. But that's just, I think that's like different people's like vibes or energy or whatever.
Yeah.
I know for a fact if I was like, no, like even when I'm like, I'll just draw a clarifying my card, my deck is always like, I said what I said.
Yeah, no, I mean, not always. Actually, I don't do it that much, but yeah, I mean,
No, people
Yeah.
like you should. I don't know why. I'm realizing like, oh, I feel beholden to follow the rules and never not accept the card.
Well, sometimes there have been a couple of times where I've been like, oh, that's why that card I picked was like, but otherwise, I don't know. It's never been too much of trouble for me. So something to try. Give it a try. See if it works for you. Do you guys want to ask the magic crystal ball, the ball of cubes, a question before we go?
Yeah.
Yes.
The magical ball of cubes. Would you like to ask my cubes something?
Oh, mighty cubes.
Dear Cubert.
Oh.
I'm still scared of this. Like, I haven't done anything with it. So if you weren't watching last week, it's just a Target, like, cheapy crystal ball. And you flip it upside down and you can unscrew it and put whatever you want in it. And I put this mixture of mushroom ink, which is ink made from shaggy manes, with, some water and some other things in there. And then put these cubes in it, and the cubes all have letters on them. So you just kind of swish it around and see what letters come up. It's like a magic 8 ball. But it's like I had to use cellophane, like plastic wrap, to seal it up. And mushroom ink is one of the foulest smelling things in the universe. So I'm still living in constant terror that this thing is going to like pop open and mushroom ink is going to spill everywhere. And it would just be so terrible. It's like furniture ruining bad. Like you would have to throw away your couch. I wish you could all smell it through the screen.
Mm.
When
I'm
are
a
we
little glad
getting
we can.
smell-o-vision?
Yeah.
I know. Right? So, a specific question, or should we just go for a?
Well, I was wondering if we could ask about the Ursa Minor or whatever, something about that.
Yeah,
Since we're going outside to look for it.
that's a great
Something
idea.
about that. Or if
Yeah, I
anyone-
was gonna say bears.
yeah, but that's just me. If there's another question, someone. But just also like if we all going out at 10 and looking, if maybe there's something extra to be looking for, or
Yeah, cool.
just
All right, so something for
Remember, we
cookies
weren't
and
gonna do 2 hours.
yeah.
Okay, so I have my
I like
letters.
hanging out so much.
Who wants to write these down? You ready?
I have Go ahead.
Oh, do you have the thing up? Okay, so J Z O T L S H R and wild card.
Can't really do that one, but
Can't do wild card.
not with this.
Can you do an asterisk?
I don't think it will work. I'll try it.
You could also just make it, with another vowel or something. If there's no reason it has to be everybody's individual wild card, we could just collectively say, okay, it's an A.
I see jorts,
Jorts.
sloth, short, lost, which is interesting.
Oh.
Like the North Star.
Weren't Zots a kind of candy?
What is?
Zots.
Oh, yeah.
Z-O-T.
Oh.
I might be
rots.
on a Zots mission for next time we meet.
Yeah, I think they're like hard candy with pop rocks in the middle.
Or like
Yeah,
foamy and stuff. Yeah.
something kind of like sour or something.
I have some actually. I have some on me.
You do?
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I should dig it out.
Yeah. Eat
Leave
some
it as an
while you're looking at
offering
the people.
tonight.
I also see troll, which is kind of fun because we were talking about troll hunting. I mean, there's only one L, so if I use my wild, there's a second L.
Right. Lots, lost, sloth. Yeah.
The SH were together though, so you're kind of cheating, Gary.
Oh,
That's
is
right.
that-
I should have mentioned that. Yes, SH is like a one on one side of the square.
Yeah, the anagram helper can't. You
Yeah.
know, writing letters, and that's all I can do for me.
I bet we could write something. We could really easily get like ChatGPT to write something for us that could do
Oh
this.
yeah. Can you help us with our mushroom ink crystal wall?
Well, you could just ask it like write all possible like words
Oh,
in
right.
the English language using the following letters.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
And use this as a wild as
Yeah.
this as a wild card. And
Josh.
Yeah, I just wrote Josh. I was like, can the rest be a last name?
can we do one more clarifying, or is there another question maybe? Or
Yeah, I think one more clarifying makes sense.
A bear named Josh who likes Zots candy and is into shorts, possibly of the jean variety, and trolls.
All right, so one more. What happens? Just a general, nice clarifying read for the last one for the night. Okay, you ready for your letters?
Yeah.
L
Hold on. L. Sorry. I have to. Okay, go ahead. L.
L I Z R O P C H. And CH is one letter.
Orphic.
Whoa. That's a
What does
big
that mean? What does that mean? Is that like
the Orphic religion, like the Greek religion of Orpheism.
Is it related to Orpheus or is it different?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what the belief system was of the people who started like the Eleusinian mysteries. Like Dionysus and Persephone and all that stuff comes from Orphism.
Chop lizard.
I'm reading a book about Orphism right now, though, so that's weird, interesting hit to me.
Yeah.
Chips, yes.
Chips.
I'm
Look at-
reading stuff in the comments now. Churro, yes. Like they were all hungry.
Zilch.
Porch.
Yeah, that is really interesting that Z came up in both of them.
Yeah, and I have a little line through the Z to like differentiate it from the N.
Nice.
It was totally the Z both times.
Oh, we also got IO. Technically is in there. And pi. Huh. Orphic.
Is that a dog?
That's a cheating one. Yeah, that's Emily's.
Yay.
On the floor though. She's like, I was trying to get her to. Hold on, wait. Where is she? There she is.
Obviously, it's Emily's because it's an Emily's square.
I don't know.
Quiet.
No, I'm making fun of myself because I was like, yeah, it's Emily's dog as if it could like
That's funny.
I've
Yeah.
been taking care of a sick
Well,
18-month-old. most of this.
She was sighing heavily, so I came over and was like, "What's wrong?"
No one was paying attention to me.
Yep.
Oh, that's exactly it. She's just
Well, that was fun.
Also, the word orchil, ORCHIL, which is a dye obtained from lichen,
Oh,
That's a good one.
and it's used for litmus tests.
Oh, that's really interesting.
is that a specific kind of lichen?
It just says used as a source of a red or violet dye obtained from certain lichens. It doesn't say which.
I bet we can find out.
That's interesting. The litmus test.
Yeah. A test to determine the acidity level of something.
Is there? I wonder if we could do something with doing some kind of litmus test with my Zots and UFO water. I have a chlorine strip I could put in there.
That could be cool.
see what colors we get.
Did you know you can make a litmus test out of purple cabbage?
Oh.
Like if you put purple cabbage in, like boil it in water and you take the liquid and it'll change colors depending on how acidic it becomes or basic.
Interesting.
This is fascinating.
Something else to consider.
All right, I gotta chew on this. There's some words there.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 10.
Yeah.
That's great. Means we get to go outside and look up at the stars. Putting the Zener cards back.
What is a lich? LICH? Is there
That's like an evil undead wizard from Dungeons and Dragons is the only place I know of it from.
Yeah.
Oh, the lynch. It's also in Adventure Time, right?
Oh,
Or the
that's right.
Lich.
Yeah, the Lich. I forgot
The
it was there was one in Adventure Time. It's still an evil undead wizard.
no.
Oh, did you see what Scott said here?
Where?
About the full circle back to trolls and shorts. Because we got troll and shorts.
Oh gosh!
Oh,
really?
because of the graffiti.
Right.
What?
All right. Okay.
That's a big boom. That's a hit right there.
Cool.
Whoa.
That also kind of ties in nicely with what we were talking about last time a couple weeks ago about how comedy and paranormal exploration often kind of go hand in hand. And look, they just served us up that nice
Yeah.
and here's how it ties back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, jorts specifically for the Never Knew joke from Arrested Development with
Hey.
David Cross's character. Isn't there also a cat named Jorts somewhere? What am I
Yeah,
thinking?
George the cat is a little orange tabby, right?
Mhm.
Oh right, yeah, and it's like I forget what it was, but it ended up being on when Twitter was right before it died. It was
Yeah.
something. So it's like a little gimmick account. I can't remember what, but now I'm gonna have to go look it up. All right.
All right. Everyone put their jorts on. Go outside. Look for the bear, the Big Dipper.
Yes.
And
And we'll be back in. Go ahead. And what?
oh no, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say and we'll be back in 2 weeks, but we're always in the Discord. So if you want to come hang, tell us about your findings there, and Mastodon are probably the best places to do it.
Show us pictures of your jorts.
Yeah. Yep. We'll send you a prize, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, everyone.
2 weeks from now, we'll be back. And thanks, everybody. Goodbye.